Police officers and first responders wear badges to let their communities know they are here to protect and serve. But it comes at a price. Samantha Horwitz and John Salerno work with police departments across the country to bring valuable recovery, insight resources, and workshops. A Badge of Honor TV brings those professionals to you so we can come together and revitalize communities through a better understanding of what's at stake and what's required for repair. So take a load off and turn up your TV. It's about to get real.
Hey, welcome everybody to Mental Health Monday with John and Sam here on A Badge of Honor TV, powered by the OBBM Network. How you doing, Sam?
Oh, I am doing great, John. Happy Monday to you. It is, well, when is it not a busy time in our world, in law enforcement, as a first responder? Yeah. You
know, I could come out here today and vent about all the negativity and all the crap that's going on in the country, but I want to give some positive notes out, and I want to give some heartfelt healing prayers out, because that's what it's all about. That's what this country is built on. It's not built on systemic hate. You know, we had two, first off, to our law enforcement officers out there that are battling the battle each and every day. You know, my heart, Sam's heart, and all of our guests that join us each and every week love you, respect you, and honor you. And we know what you go through because we've been there. Chicago had a horrible shooting inside a hospital, losing one officer, severely wounding another one. But, they ended up apprehending the perp. And, then we just had, the things with the Secret Service. These fine officers jumped in front of the president. They put their life on the line for our president. And it is just amazing the passion that these guys have, the honor that they have, the dedication that these men and women have to protect and serve the public, our officials. And I can't say enough good things about them. Then in New York, Officer Dillard was shot and killed by a robbery suspect last year. And one of the judges gave this guy only manslaughter and sentenced him to 25 years to life. Well, I guess some appeals happened, and it went before another judge in New York, and now that guy is going away for 115 to life. And his wife, God bless her, she was on the news today. She gave a heartwarming, really beautiful, I don't know, victim's speech. I don't know if that's correct. Impact statement. Yeah. She held her composure. She was strong for her husband and her kids. And, that piece of shit didn't say one word. He just sat there, and I hope he rots in hell. And, our heart goes out to the Dillard family as well, and to the NYPD, everybody. It is just, it makes me so proud, but it hurts me so hard when I see our law enforcement and our veterans getting hurt. And that's why, like our guest today with Carry the Load, we always say, even with Walk the Bridge, if we say their name, if we remember their name, they don't die twice, right? We keep their spirit alive, we keep their family's spirit alive, and we honor what they have done. Past, I mean, we go back, when we walk that walk in Riversham Park, we see heroes dating all the way back to the Vietnam era and before that, and
as well as officers, I think.
And officers, yeah. And these families carrying these placards, these boards, these remembrance boards. And it is, if you're in the sound of our voice and you are in the Dallas area, you have to come out to Riversham Park for this, because it is probably one of the most impactful events you'll ever witness as family members carry these boards. And I can't wait to hear from our guest tonight.
I was gonna play the PSA in the beginning, but I think we'll play the PSA at the end after we finish talking with Rod tonight. Say Rod and I go way back, and it is just an honor and a pleasure to have him as our guest on A Badge of Honor TV. Rod, welcome to A Badge of Honor TV. Glad you are with us today.
Hey, Rob.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Hey, you bet, you bet. You've got a lot more in your background than a Carry the Load ambassador. Please tell everybody watching and listening on their favorite podcast app a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah, I started in police work in 1982 with the Garland Police Department. In my 22-year career, I was able to do just about everything that I ever wanted to do. I was a hostage negotiator. I was a rescue diver. I was a detective. I was over a number of investigation units. And ultimately, I worked in digital forensics and was assigned to the FBI. And so then when I retired, I just transitioned to being an FBI employee. And I did that for an additional 8 years eventually as a senior forensic examiner. Worked in the private sector for a couple of years after that. Went back to work for the government on a contract. And now I just kind of do graphic work and I do Carry the Load. And I'm an ambassador for Carry the Load. I also serve on the Dallas Operations Committee and also during the Rivershine event, the Overwatch team, which liaisons with Dallas PD and basically is the first responder to the first responder for things that happen out there at the park. We're volunteers. We're mostly former officers that are out there. And if you come out, you'll see us. We're wearing a red shirt that's got the Carry the Load logo on it. We're the only ones that have a red shirt. And then someone reminded me later on, on Star Trek, if you had the red shirt, that you could come back for the next episode. And I didn't think about that when we came up with the red shirt idea. So.
Yeah, it was all about visibility. And hey, we're gonna brag on your little side hustle that you have in terms of making logos. I have a bunch of mugs that Rod has put different logos on, not only Secret Service, silver badge, my favorite badge, but Carry the Load stuff, in addition to our logo here at a Badge of Honor. Rod and the team worked. It took a little bit, but we got it. The meaning comes through, and we so much appreciate your hard work. So tell us a little bit about you getting into this ambassador role, because you have been involved with Carry the Load almost since the beginning. This is our 15th year. I think I personally over a decade myself. I know you have more time than me.
Once upon a time, a friend of mine who was he's a Garland officer. He was assigned to DPS in the helicopter unit. So he was a flight observer for DPS. Now he works for DPS, but back then he said, "Hey, we're going to a thing over at Rivershine Park called Carry the Load. Do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." And so he said, "Well, meet me over here and we'll go." And I went. And so I saw all of these like-minded people, patriots, veterans, first responders. And I went, "This is really cool." And so I said, from that moment on, I wanted to be a part of it. So I said, I want to be on a team. I want to raise money. I want to, and so eventually they said, "You're doing such a great job, Rod. Why don't you start a team?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll start a team." And they're like, "You're doing such a great job, Rod. Why don't you be on our operations committee?" And I'm like, "Well, I am retired, so I guess I have time." And so I did that. And then, it's like any good job. The more you do, the more they want you to do, right? So eventually they started tagging me with roles to talk to people like yourself, a podcast. Sometimes I do news spots. I'll get a call and, "Hey, we need you to talk to the ABC station in Little Rock, or we need you to talk to a group in Houston," or, it's basically just carrying the load for Carry the Load. We're just telling about what we do and how we do it and what it means to us. And, obviously I have some history. I have some background. I have worked with guys that I lost in the line of duty, good friends of mine. And so I think about them quite often. And so I draw upon that whenever I'm talking. I try to do the best I can to keep up with their families. And I keep their memory alive by keeping them alive in my heart and in my memory. And if you go to my team page, you will see that they're listed on there as well. And if you look at any of my Facebook information, you will see that they're fairly regular visitors to that as well. So that's kind of what I do. Ambassadors are basically just spokespersons for Carry the Load. People that have a passion for what we do, people that have a passion for the mission, and that's what I bring. And that's why you and I get together on working some things together way back in the day, right?
In the day, yep, way back in the day. When we come back from our first break, let's talk about Carry the Load as an event, because it's not just in Dallas. It actually is, no matter where you live in the country, you can take part and help carry the memories of our fallen. So we're going to take our first break. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% US-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
All right. Hey, John, if you call 972-PATRIOT, you will get to talk to one of the U.S.-based customer service reps. I think we've all experienced some interesting customer service calls. But let me tell you, whatever you need with Patriot Mobile, they are there. They'll get you set up. And when you call them, tell them a badge of honor sent you by using promo code BADGE. If you don't have time to get on the phone with somebody, you can make an appointment. Just go to patriotmobile.com/badge. You'll be on our landing page, fill out the information, and then a member of that customer service team will give you a call. So it is well worth signing up for service with them. Why? Because they give back to veterans, to first responders, and to a lot of other programs that deal with First Amendment, Second Amendment rights. You keep your phone, or if you want to upgrade, you can get a new phone. But they work off the big 3, so you're not losing anything in terms of service. You're gaining a voice because that you get to control where your money goes versus where the big 3 will send your money. So again, 972-PATRIOT, tell them a badge of honor sent you, or patriotmobile.com/badge. Now back to the show.
Well, welcome back to A Badge of Honor TV with John and Sam, and our guest, Rod Gregg, the ambassador for the Dallas area Carry the Load. You know, before we took the break, you were telling us a little bit about your background as law enforcement and what brought you to Carry the Load. And it was just somebody telling you, hey, come check this out. And, you know, Rod, I got that same thing because Sam turned around to me one day and said, hey, this is when we first started, you know, when we first met. She said, come down to Carry the Load. And I was like, I didn't know what it was, because in New York, we really never heard about it. And all of a sudden, I was hooked. To be around so many patriots, so many loving families, to help shoulder some of the pain that they went through. It is a true humanitarian thing to do for another person. And you provide such healing by just your presence being in there. And I love what Carry the Load is doing. Well, I didn't actually know how big it was until Sam brought me there that one time. And I have not missed one yet.
I know. And thank you, John. And that's exactly the way I feel about it as well. I mean, it's always been one of those things where I say, all I got to do is get you there. Once I get you there, it got you deep in your heart. And so you're always going to want to be a part of that. And so I look forward to it every year. It's a busy time during this time of year, what we call Memorial May. This is where we start kicking off our community events. Throughout the country, we have about 75 community events. And so what that means is we will have a muster, so to speak, at a particular location, someplace that's can accommodate a large number of people. And we will have carry the load people there, handing out things and also putting up storyboards. If you've ever been to a carry the load event, you'll see that we have literally hundreds and hundreds of storyboards. Earlier, y'all mentioned that we have storyboards that go back into as far back as the 40s. Well, when Dallas PD puts theirs out, and the assist the officer group at Dallas PD puts theirs out, they put them back into the 1800s.
Yeah.
They are doing firemen and police. And you see these guys and you're like, what kind of uniform is that? Well, it's the kind of uniform they wore back then. And some of them aren't photos because they didn't have photos. And to be honest with you, we're probably not even 100% sure that's what these guys look like. Because there was really no way to record them. They're probably just from a description. Somebody said, well, he was a tall, burly guy with a red beard, or I don't know.
But you know what's good about that, Rod, is when the grandchildren or the great grandchildren
100%
visit, they're proud to say, that's my great grandfather, or that's my long lost uncle, or it really, and it makes the family not forget. And it's not an atmosphere of a cemetery or visiting a monument somewhere in a grassy field. It's being surrounded by loving people that, man, if you start to cry, there's somebody to hug you right there.
Yeah,
you're
just about to cry themselves.
Huh?
I was going to say, because they're just about to start crying themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, it is very meaningful.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you just about started making me cry right there, John, when you started talking about that. Yeah, because when I go out there and I see a storyboard of somebody that I knew, somebody that I worked with, or somebody that I just knew from, Sam, we've all had people that we've worked with at different agencies, and you're like, yeah, I remember that guy. That he was a good guy, or she was an excellent officer. And so, it brings back all these memories, and we not only have to get to see them on these storyboards out on the walk, but we get to see them. We have a wall of honor on the website where we have them all listed out, where a story that their family has wanted us to share. And sometimes it's really not even about their work, what they did. It's about who they were as a person, what they came to mean to the family, or what they meant to them, to their kids. But that's what we're trying to do, is keep their memory alive, and keep them alive not only in our hearts. The other thing, and I'm not sure which video you're going to play, Sam, but the one thing I wanted to say was Clint Bruce and Stephen Holly, two Navy SEALs that began this program back in 2011. It really kind of spawned from a walk in the park that Clint had. His wife said, look, you need to get out of the house. You're driving me crazy. And so he said, yeah, I am, because I just don't see how America has lost its way with Memorial Day. We've just lost touch with what it even means to honor those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And he lost so many friends when he was overseas in battle. And so he put on a backpack with a pound of weight for every friend that he had lost. He said it was a heavy load that he was carrying. And as he was walking, an old Marine, grizzly Marine, stopped him and said, hey, son, who are you carrying? And it wasn't until that moment, that man that asked him that question, that he realized what he was doing. He was getting rid of the burden of the weight of the memory of these guys that he had lost, and replacing that regret with something more productive. And so you'll see when you go out to the park, A lot of people are carrying heavy backpacks. Some are just carrying light backpacks.
Now you're going to make me cry. Now your story's making me cry.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we started it, right? To get people to understand what it means to carry the loads. You know, we do it to connect American patriots, their families, with veterans, our military, first responders, and their families, to connect these people together. And in doing so, what we do is we give them a way to share. I can't tell you how many times that I've been out there and I'll just see someone and I'll just stop and talk to them. Sam, you know how I am. I will talk to anybody. And if I see somebody that looks even remotely interesting, I will go and talk to them. And about 110% of the time, I carry away a lot more from that conversation than they, and sometimes they don't even know how much they needed that conversation. Sure. Real quickly, I'll share a small story. I saw a guy, and he looked like he was lost, and he was just kind of wandering around, and he was looking around, and he was carrying something on his backpack, a name, and I was just like, something drove me to go and speak to him, and he said, "Yeah, this is the first time I've been out here. I lost my brother, and this is his name, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how to help myself." And so, John, I'm going to correct myself up. So we talked for a good while, and he learned why he was out there, and so and he's only one of many people that I've talked to out there. There was another woman that I talked to last year, as a matter of fact, that had driven from San Francisco by herself. An older woman had driven, not quite my age, but an older woman had driven by herself from San Francisco because she had lost a friend and she wanted to come out there and honor her. And I was just like, first of all, I can't even imagine doing that at any age, feeling the drive to want to do that. But so naturally, I felt the need to talk to her for quite a while also. But, you know, I feel like everyone that I run into out there has the same type of story. They have a story that needs to be told. And I love telling it because they're important. My friends were important. Their friends were important.
Exactly. And like you said, it keeps their memory alive. We've got to take our next quick break. When we come back, we are going to come back to another video, a PSA from Carry the Load. And then let's get into how people can get involved in their own community. Okay. So we're going to go back to that. Yeah, we're going to go. Well, you might cry when you watch the PSA. So we're going to go back-to-back videos, folks. We will be right back with Rod. Stay tuned.
Look, when you need to respond to an aggressive situation to protect yourself, your family, or your property, understanding your firearm and legal position are critical. Officers know your skills are only as good as your commitment to training. So know what you're doing. So when you're in a vulnerable situation, we can count on your response. Whether you're a beginner or a licensed gun carrier, Carry in Texas offers basic firearms training, Texas permitless carry courses, license to carry, and basic 2A courses so you can understand the responsibilities, situational awareness, and learn the technical skill required when you carry your firearm. Go to carryintexas.com to find the right course for you. Join me, former United States Secret Service agent Samantha Horwitz, on the range for beginner basics, LTC prep, and range practice. Go to carryintexas.com today. That's carryintexas.com.
Hey, welcome. Oh, are we going? We're going right back to back video.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, John, and then we'll go back to the video.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back to a Badge of Honor TV with John and Sam. Rod, before we broke, man, it was emotional, and this is how Carry the Load at the park is going to be. It's emotional, but it's not an emotional aspect where we're feeling bad. It's an uplifting, it's a remembrance emotional type where it heals you from inside. You talk to, there's no strangers, because everybody that the thousands of people that are there at that park that day are all there for, and they all have a story, like you said, and it really brings so many aspects of humanity, patriotism. Just that lady you said drove all the way from San Diego,
San Francisco. Yep.
San Francisco. She probably came and made so many new friends, and she probably keeps in touch with them to this day, and it gets her through. And that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And just think, just from one walk, look how many people it's impacted.
Yeah. So we're going to watch a quick PSA from Carry the Load. Stay tuned, everybody. Here we go.
May Carry the Load always stay true to its calling, reminding all those across this nation a vision that we might pause to restore the true meaning of Memorial Day.
Welcome back to a Badge of Honor TV. Rod, that short little clip that Sam just played doesn't give a tenth of what that park is filled with on the March day, when everybody marches in. And you've been with Carry the Load for what, you said 11 years now?
Something like that, 11, 12 years, yeah.
Now, just recently, and correct me if I'm wrong, I knew we used to come in from 5 different states, correct?
Right.
Is it 6 states now?
No, relays.
Relays. Yeah. But
relays.
We're doing it. We have a different setup now. What we do is we do community events. So rather than try to do relays, we have community events set up in different places. Like around here, for instance, not everyone can make it to Riverside Park because maybe they live too far away to drive, or maybe they have something else going on that day. So starting today, I think, right, Sam?
Yep,
Memorial May is what we call it. And we do a kickoff. We have sprinter vans and teams that are spread out throughout the country. And they go and they host these community events. Around here, we will have community events, the ones that I will participate in, not in Greenville, Texas, but I will participate in the one in Rockwall, Texas, because that's where I live and that's where our team is. So we will have one at the county courthouse. Now, we used to have it because of the relay. We would have it, and it would end up being at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, right? I mean, it was like insane. And I would get up and I would go, and then I would, 3 hours sleep and turn around and go to a different one. So it's advantageous to us that now that we're doing the community style events where we have more time, that we're not constricted by in and out. For example, most of them are set up this way. If you go to carrytheload.org, you can see where the community events are and see where the closest one to you is and when it is. Quick aside, we were on vacation up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I told my wife, I said, you know what? Carry the Load should be coming through here sometime. And so I got on the website and I said, you know what? They're going to be here tomorrow and they're going to be about a mile down the road. So let's go. And so we went and met them, and it was a big surprise for them that we showed up there. Anyway, so getting back to the way we do it, we have it where we have a high school ROTC group. We have a bagpiper. We do Pledge of Allegiance. We do singing the national anthem. We will have We'll have taps for sure. We'll have a speaker. We'll have prayer, and then we'll do a loop. We do a loop from there, and it's about a 2.5 mile loop. So it goes out, comes back to the same beginning spot, so we don't have to worry about cars and getting back to anyway. So we do that, and there's fire trucks and there's SWAT vehicles, and I don't know. I think there's dogs. We have Patriot Paws that are out there, and it's quite an event. And we'll also, and I'm not just hyping my event because I know others are like this, but we have people that have volunteered to cook burgers and hamburgers and hot dogs and drinks will be provided, and all free of charge, and just donated by people that support Carry the Load and support the Rockwall event. So that's what we'll be doing. 75 of those throughout the country. Very similar to that, very similar setup, run by the local people. And then on Sunday, we'll start the Carry the Load at Riverside Park. And as y'all
in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, in Dallas. I'm sorry. Yes, in Dallas. There's free parking. The entry is free, so you don't have to pay anything to get in. We do need you to go onto the website and kind of register. And really, we're only doing that because the registration includes a waiver, and then the group that puts on the event for us really requires that, just for liability purposes. And then we'll do that, and it'll be a long, long day and through the night, and then we'll conclude the following day. There will be food trucks. There will be entertainment. There will be. Last year we had a couple of different bands from Fort Hood. One was the rock band from Fort Hood, and I'm like, rock band, how good can they be from the Army? They were excellent. I'm telling you, these people were good. I mean, I would go see their concert any day. And so, they packed up in a van. They brought all their instruments down, and we had, we had an orchestra there. We have guest speakers, of course. I'm not sure who our guest speakers this year will be, but we'll have someone of note. And look for the advertisements on Channel 8, which WFAA, which is one of our sponsors that gets the word out. Yeah.
Yeah, and nothing has been forgotten. One of the things that you all do such a phenomenal job with is you make sure everybody that comes to Riverside Park is taken care of from the minute they show up to the minute they decide to leave. There's plenty of food, drinks, water, Gatorade, because it's either hot or it's raining. That's been carrying the load since it started. So, and with that, I have to say, you guys also have hot drinks and cold drinks. Hot drinks happen to be coffee. Now, it's not East Texas Legends coffee, not what we're drinking here.
It could be, though.
It could be because maybe perhaps one day. So let me put this up on the screen so everybody can see. East Texas Legends Coffee Company, founded by Ben and Amanda Holmes, reflects their journey from Ben's Marine Corps service and law enforcement career, overcoming post-traumatic stress to finding purpose in ranching. Relocating to an East Texas ranch, they identified a need for a local coffee brand. Now they're opening their first coffee shop in Lindale, Texas, rooted in faith, family, and community. Their mission: inspire purposeful conversations over coffee. Drink coffee, be legendary. Folks, hold up your phones, get this QR code, use promo code BADGE for 15% off coffee and merchandise. If you're listening on your favorite podcast app, go to etxlegendscoffee.com. Again, use promo code BADGE for 15% off coffee and merchandise. And Ben and Amanda, they will ship the coffee, whatever you order, to wherever you are. So again, use promo code BADGE for 15% off. And I just think it's fitting because, Ben and Amanda were on the show a while back, and he certainly has his share of, story of loss, losing his brothers in arms, and how he came back from that. So kind of would go hand in hand. I don't know. I'll throw it out there. So Ben, Amanda, if you're listening, you may get a call from a really big organization. It might take you up on, I don't know, some coffee. Anyway, back to the show.
Carry the load. And I thank Sam so much for introducing me and inviting me that first time, because it has become so near and dear to my heart. I lost 9 that I carry. And Sam, you've seen all the names and photos I have on my that I carry around my neck, and everybody has that story. And when I carry those, people come up to me and they're like, "Who's this? What did they do?" And when I get to say their name to somebody, it's like they're still here, that we didn't lose them. That their presence is still here. It's beyond words, man. It's powerful. It is. I mean, it's
and that's what that's why I think it's great that Memorial May starts now, and that all these community events are taking place across our nation, so that people, no matter where they are, can take part in it. And remember, they can come out with their packs, with just like you, with your lanyard, with the photos, and have those conversations, because we heal with the conversations. And that's why, I mean, gosh, the first time I was down at Rivershon Park, it was like, that's where Memorial Day has been spent for over a decade now. And Rod, can you talk a little bit about the nonprofit partners? John and I, a badge of honor, our organization has been nonprofit partners. We're selected again this year, and we're so incredibly grateful. But what does it mean to be a nonprofit partner, and what do we do?
Okay, so part of what we do is we fundraise, right? We solicit donations. You can join Carry the Load as an individual, or you can join a team. You can start a team. If you were on a team last year, you can go back to that team, or you can go to a different team, however you want to do it. And then we give you ways to, wherever you want to do it. So we give you ways to fundraise through social media. We give you ideas on, it's like I just had this conversation with some of my buddies today. By the way, Sam, Dennis London said to say hi.
Oh, great. He did. Yeah. Is he going to be down at the park this year? Is he coming with Sherry?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I will tell him he has to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he must.
He has to. I'll make sure that he is. So our goal each year is to raise at least $1.5 million. And we take that money and we give it to the nonprofit partners, which have been chosen and vetted by our team. This is obviously one of about 31 different nonprofit partners that we have selected as being worthy of our redistribution of charity donations. We have about 18 different national corporate sponsors that help us to fund some of the housekeeping stuff that we do, so that we can go and say, honestly, we are able to deliver about 93% or 93 cents out of a dollar of all the money that we raise back to our nonprofit partners, back to charities. So we're not spending a lot of money on things like, salaries and things like that. Yes, we do have some people that are salaried. I'm not one of them. I probably should be. I don't know. I don't know why I'm not. Just probably lobby for that. But no. Trust me. I get enough right here. Enough payment. $1.5 million over the last 15 years. We have raised over $50 million for charity, and we continuously give that money back to veterans, first responders, their families, and in ways that help them with their struggles for mental. What's the right word, Sam? Mental health.
Mental health and wellness.
Mental health, yes, mental health. Thank you, and well-being. Things like John, you were talking earlier about equine therapy and things like that. There are a tremendous number of things. We're helping families of the fallen. We're helping just in so many different ways. Practically none of the organizations that we are working with does the same thing for the same group of people. So we have very little overlap, which is great. I think that's a great thing that we are able to help in ways. And I noticed that John was holding up a 22 cup earlier. Yeah. And so, how many times have we talked about that, right? We've talked about mental health and suicide prevention and the ways that we can address it. I personally, and I know, Sam, that you have some experience with this as well, that I have personally had friends that have committed suicide. It's, what do we say? A permanent solution to a temporary problem. We've said that many times, and they're it's like, what can you do? We just do the best we can to try to short circuit that, to get them to where they're not thinking that there are no solutions to their problem. And whatever we can do, if we can just help one person, that's then we've done a great job, I think.
But see what you're doing, Rod, and what Carry the Load is doing. You're not just helping one person, all right? Because like this 22 mug, right? This is, and if you don't mind, this is Hunting with Soldiers, right? This is Gordon Melton. He takes combat veterans out on hunting excursions. This is just one of the thousands of organizations that are out there that do this voluntarily, that help our first responders, our veterans, their families, be it mental health, getting prosthetics, getting medical treatment for certain cancers, things that the government really doesn't, or medical insurance does not fully cover, right? So if it was not for that $50 million that you guys raised through your kind heart, your generosity, your volunteerism, right? If it wasn't for that, how many people would be suffering right now? Because that provides so much for so many. It's not only helping one person, it is helping so many more than you even know.
Yeah, Rod, I have to say, and John, I speak for the whole team that, and when you did say everybody goes through a vetting process. So it's a series of meetings, and our partnership with you all and Carry the Load has helped us serve first responders in ways where we are able to actually grow our programs and create new programs. And because of that, we have taken suicide off the table for a bunch of folks out there. They know whether it's Carry the Load is their safety net, or all of the nonprofit partners. We're kicking off Memorial May with Rod. Guys, the rest, all through May, including a live broadcast from Carry the Load, we're going to be featuring new nonprofit partners. So we try to bring the new folks on each year, so that everybody knows, hey, you need to get the help that is right for you. And we're just blessed to be able to do our little part in something that is so heavy, so that it doesn't have to be heavy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Let me just yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, what you just said reminded me of something that I was going to say earlier. We invite our nonprofit partners out, and we give them a huge tent to be out of the sun in, and we we ask them to set their wares up, their information. And so what I see a lot of people going through the labyrinth under that tent, and yours is one of them. But I see them going through there, and I can see the wheels spinning, going, would this be something that would work for me? Or would this be something that would work for my buddy who needs that? Or my mom who lost someone that I don't know how to reach out to her? And so I see them doing that, and they're getting information from our nonprofit partners, and then they are able to outreach to them there at the park, and in other ways as well. And so we, on our page, on our website, we have a link to all of the nonprofit partners. So if you see something on there that you said, I don't know what that is, I want to learn more about that, like a badge of honor, and what do they do, and how do they do what they do, click on it, and then it'll route you to their website for more information. And so, again, we're a clearinghouse for information, getting the information out there where it'll do the most good, right? So we enjoy having that ability, and I forget how many years ago we started doing that. I know when we first started doing it, it was not great, not well done, but now it is. I think it's, Sam, I think you'll agree that it's pretty well done, and they treat you real nice, and hopefully, I don't know if y'all, I mean, maybe you can speak on whether y'all get people that come and contact you that continue for follow up. Hopefully you do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to have Sam say. You say it all the time, Sam.
Yeah. They come up. First of all, we have, we do our programs in the departments, and sometimes when you meet somebody in uniform, then they come out to carry the load, and they're like, you helped me. And they tell their story, and now I'm getting choked up because it's not only does everybody that we're in front of matter to us, but then for them to come out and say that we made a difference for them directly, and then they're introducing us to their spouse and their family. It is it goes beyond. Thank you is just small, because it is that heartwarming feeling that to know that through Carry the Load, we are able to make an impact and make a difference, and also have them not have a badge of honor not be their last stop, introduce them to other organizations that we meet there, and say, hey, have you met this person? Make personal introductions so that their journey of wellness continues.
Exactly. We've had officers from all over in our workshops that have said, I saw you at Carry the Load, or I got some, and I went to equine therapy, or I went to Heroes on the Water, or I went to this one, or I went to that one, because of what Carry the Load has offered. And like you said, it's a clearinghouse for so many individuals, because we all battle differently, right? Nobody battles the same, and everybody's going through something different. And what Carry the Load does is it offers that wide variety, and at no price to anybody. Just come in and just be a part of it. And that's the beautiful part about it. You guys aren't whatever, but the park and that day and the introduction to everybody is all free, and that's what makes it a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So Rod, real quick, what is the best way for people to get connected to Carry the Load, and do you know all the social media handles?
No,
I think it's Carry the Load everywhere.
No,
I used to, but you know what? Yeah. That's not one of the things that I studied before I
Sorry. Sorry, I kind of sprung that on you. Yeah, obviously we have the website, so I put the website up.
So carrytheload.org, and the handles are on there. I know that we have all of the standard, Instagram and Facebook and I know we have all those, and I've been to them dozens of times, but I don't remember. They're just marked on my computer.
Well, it tells you Carry the Load is very organized today, or Carry the Load across all social media platforms. But like Rod said, the best place to land first is the website, so you can get the waivers and everything. So the event staff, they're the men and women that also do a lot of hard work, all the volunteers out there because they're running, looking at the numbers. So carrytheload.org for all of you listening on your favorite podcast app. And we want to thank Spreely, we're part of the Spreely family of podcasting. So wherever you watch, whether it's iTunes or Spotify or it seems like there's hundreds of ways to listen to podcasts. We are there. Just search A Badge of Honor TV. And Rod, any final words?
No, I think if you just come out once, you'll continue to come out. It's Memorial Day. It's a day to remember what our veterans have done. Not only do we do things on Memorial Day, but we also do things on 9/11 and Veterans Day. We honor those that have blazed the trail before us. We honor those. We remember those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And we honor their families by remembering who they were. And we're honoring the next generation by saying, you know what, if something happens to you, we'll take care of your family. We'll take care of you. That's what we owe them. And we'll remember who they were. So,
yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I will definitely see you in Dallas. And again, folks, don't be a stranger. You come once, you'll be hooked. And thank you, Rod, very much for coming on.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
I'll see you.
You bet. We will be in touch.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Oh, you too.
Wow. That was hard going through that, Sam. I'm telling you, it was emotional, but this is what it's all about.
Absolutely. And it is. We love Carry the Load. We love the Carry the Load family, the staff, everybody that's involved is just top notch. They care so much about not forgetting, and that's what it is about. So come out if you are in the Dallas area, if you're within like 2-hour drive and you're able to make it to Reverchon Park in Dallas, come on out to the park. Let us help you remember, and we can do it together as one big family. So to all of those first responders, get out there too, because it's about veterans, it's about our military, and it's about first responders and the families of, and remembering everybody. Hey, we have got a couple of things going on as it relates to Carry the Load. If you go to our website, abadgeofhonor.org, you will see a pop-up. That is a way where you can donate to our team directly. So it comes through us and goes to Carry the Load. And so I just made some graphics. So go to badgeofhonor.org and make your donation to Carry the Load. It turns right around, comes back to us so we can continue to do what we do. And we thank everybody who has made those donations right now. And whether you got personal email invites to donate from us, from our team, please just remember we are one giant big family in this nation. And no matter where you live, no matter if somebody served in your family, let's help you honor them and honor their memories. So badgeofhonor.org, click that donate button for Carry the Load. We also have our friends Liz and Joe Bartholomew up at Responders Retreat. You can go to respondersretreat.org. End of September, beginning of October, they have got a retreat in Wisconsin. So go ahead and sign up. Spaces are going fast. They had a phenomenal turnout last year. And so you definitely want to reserve your space right now. And then in also the end of September, we are taking over Texas. We are TexasTakeover100.com. Let the folks over there know you are going to come to Allen, Texas to get together. We are patriots. We are first responders. We want to live 100% of the time. Let's be a community that operates that way. So if you are already there at 100%, we need you there. If you want to be 100%, we need you there. If you're somewhere in between, we want you there. So get on TexasTakeover100.com and let the folks that are running this fundraiser know that you are going to come out. To all of our first responders, thank you. Keep up the good work. We are praying for your safe return every single day that you are out there. Thank you for keeping our community safe. To our veterans out there, thank you for doing what you did, putting up the fight of your lives so that John and I can do a show like this every single week. To our active duty personnel spread out across the globe, thank you for what you are doing, keeping our shores safe here at home. John, take us home.
Real quick, I'm going to do this fast, but this year I will be carrying for, Sam, if you don't mind me, just indulge me for a second.
Yep.
I will be carrying for FDNY Pete Gansey, FDNY Gerald Duffy, Port Authority cop George Howard, 7-7 precinct Keith Taylor, John Hanley, Tony Gray, Ray Harris, and a multitude of others that I just can't think off the top of my head. But I will be carrying for you, brothers. I will be carrying for you I will never forget you. And I hold you in my heart near and dear each and every day.
Till next week, everybody. Take care.
A Badge of Honor podcast is produced for the OBBN Network podcast and protected under copyright law. For content permissions, please submit your request to abadgeofhonor.com on the content page. For OBBN Network programming information, please call 214-714-0495 today.